consistency. Your cake does not have to be perfect. Mine, this is one of them. This is the bottom layer. Every cake maker, professional cake makers, everybody, not even their cake comes out perfect. You understand? So if your cake doesn't come out perfect, that's fine. If you're not doing a filling, or if you're not covering your cake, then of course you have to be careful not to break your cake. But in my case, I'm going to cover my cake and I'm going to put a filling. No one is going to pay attention to this after it's all made up and decorated. No one's going to see that there was a hole in here. You understand? So that's one tip. It's not everybody's, I make professional cakes and not even my cakes come out perfect. I don't worry about it coming out perfect if I'm going to do a filling and everything. So you saw how fast I was scraping it. So this is how the bottom layer came out. The top layer, I put a little more attention into that for the top layer to come out smoother, because that's the layer that has to be more fitted so I can do my decoration. Okay, so this is the bottom layer, as you can see here. My filling, I turned off the fire already. Look at the consistency. Okay, first it was milky. I let it cook for, let's say, maybe 5-10 minutes, and look at the consistency. Okay, this is how it's supposed to look. Okay, this is how it's supposed to look. This is called beijinho, and I made it with condensed milk and coconut. Okay, this is what I'm going to fill the inside of my cake with. Okay, but before I fill the inside of my cake, it's a tres leches cake. If I didn't want to make it tres leches, then I could just cover it like this and put the filling inside, but I'm going to make it tres leches. For tres leches, this is what makes it tres leches. Pay close attention. Make sure you grab a fork and you're going to stab your cake, okay? You're going to stab it. It's going to be messy. You're going to stab it and twist. Stab, twist. Stab, twist. You're going to make holes in your cake, okay? Make a lot of holes, okay? A lot. So I'm stabbing. You can stab and twist. Tear your cake up a little bit, okay? So you can do that, because you're doing this so that when you pour the milk inside, that way the milk can reach inside your cake, because otherwise it's not going to be a tres leches cake, it's going to be dry. Okay, so poke a lot of holes in it, okay, and it's going to be messy. Once you do that, now you're going to start making your tres leches, okay? Put that aside. Grab a bowl like so. You're going to grab one more can of condensed milk, okay? This can of condensed milk, okay? Pour it in a bowl. Scrape all of it out with your spatula one more time. Look how a spatula is very necessary in the kitchen. 1 can of evaporated milk, okay? Mix that up a little bit, evaporated milk. 1 can of evaporated milk. Condensed milk, evaporated milk, you can get all of this in the baking aisle, okay? It's called sweetened condensed milk, and this is 1 can of evaporated milk. Okay, and you're going to pour that inside as well. Now you can do this step either in the blender, you can mix all this up in the blender, or you can hand mix it. I'm going to use the hand mixer today. So it's 1 can of condensed milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, and you're going to use either 1 can of creme de leche, or creme de leche is the same thing as heavy cream. So you can fill up the condensed milk can with the heavy cream, okay? Heavy whipping cream. Okay? So, like so. You're going to put 1 can of condensed milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, and if you want to use creme de leche, you buy 1 can of creme de leche and you add it in there. If you want to use heavy whipping cream, that's fine. You just fill it up with this can here. 1 can as well. Almost full. That's the tres leches. That's what makes this cake tres leches. Okay? So now we're going to have to mix this together. I'm going to use the hand mixer, but like I said, if you want to use the blender, feel free. Speed 1. It doesn't have to be for long, just until it's all mixed in together, just like this. I'm pretty sure you can see that. It's tres leches. It's 1 can condensed milk, 1 can evaporated milk, and 1 can of creme de leche or heavy whipping cream. That is your tres leches, okay? And it looks great. So get your cake, okay? And now what you're going to do, the best thing to do would be to get a measuring cup so that way you can pour it evenly over the cake. I have it in my measuring cup, and now you're going to pour it. Pour it. Don't be scared to pour it all over the cake. Wet it nice and good. You can even open the holes that you made. You can open it up. You see, tear your cake a little bit. Open it up and pour that tres leches all over the cake. Okay? All over the cake. You're going to soak it. Okay? You're going to soak it like that. You see? It's pretty much soaked a little bit. And then you're going to get the filling that you made. Okay? Pour it on top of your cake. Just like that. And you see how it gets thicker as it stands? It's a good consistency. It's thick but not too thick. You can always make it thicker if you like, but for the filling, it's good to keep it at this consistency because that way it won't be so hard when you spreading it. Okay, otherwise it'll be extremely hard to spread. Okay, so here we go. And you just evenly spread it over that cake. Okay, so right now the cake has the tres leches. It's going to be pretty sweet, but it's going to be delicious. Try to keep it in the middle of your cake. Don't go off to the sides because remember you're going to cover your cake and you don't want to have the filling sticking out. Now you're going to get the other cake. Okay. If you didn't make 2 cakes like I did, if you made just 1 big cake, you can always cut the cake in half. You can turn the cake over, and then you can just hold the cake on top and just cut it evenly like that with a big knife. And cut it in half, and then you can do the same thing we're doing. If not, if you want to do 2 small cakes like I did, you can do that. It's much easier. Now I'm going to get my second cake. This is the top layer, okay? So, let's see. I'm going to turn it over. See? This one does not have too much holes, okay? I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to put this side on the bottom, okay? You always want the flat side on top so you can decorate it nice and even. Okay? Just like that. And again, you want to make sure it's nice and even. And we're going to poke holes again in it, okay? The top layer the same way so you can pour the milk in it. Poke lots and lots of holes in it, fork, and just go ahead and poke. Don't be scared to poke holes, okay? You want to poke a lot of holes because this is what's going to get your cake nice and soft. And so you can have, so you can taste the tres leches. That's the whole point, okay? So you're going to poke and twist, tear your cake just a little bit, okay? I am not poking as much as I would like because I'm going to put this cake on another, I'm going to try to transform it after I'm done. I'm going to have to take it out of here and put it somewhere else, okay? You see there's a piece falling over here, so I'm going to have to try to keep that there so I can decorate the cake, but it's okay. Now that I did that, we're going to pour the milk on top just like we did in the beginning. You're going to open up the holes that you had there, okay? See, there's a big crack right there, and I take advantage of that crack and I pour the milk right inside the holes, okay? And the cake is just sucking up all this milk. Finish up all that milk. All 3 cans of that milk, you're going to finish it up. Pour it all over, soak up the cake with milk. Okay, soak it up the sides, don't forget the sides, and especially the top because it's going to go to the inside of the cake. See? Remember that crack? I opened the crack and look how it's sucking up all the milk.